The revival of the Ontario Northlander passenger train is now one of the most concrete inner-city rail projects underway in Ontario, and for the first time in more than a decade, the plan to run passenger trains directly from Northern Ontario to Union Station in downtown Toronto is backed by infrastructure, equipment orders, and a publicly released proposed schedule. After years of political announcements and feasibility studies, the Northlander is finally transitioning into a service that appears operationally real rather than aspirational. Ontario Northland continues to state that the Northlander is expected to begin service in 2026, with current planning pointing towards a late 2026 launch once new train sets arrive, testing is completed, and regulatory approvals are finalized. While no specific month or day has been confirmed, the timing is closely tied to the delivery of the new rolling stock and the completion of station construction along the route. Unlike past transit projects in Ontario that announced overly optimistic opening dates, the Ontario Northland has been careful to frame a 2026 open as an anticipated start rather than a guaranteed deadline, which suggests a more cautious and pragmatic approach. The service will operate as a long-distance inter-city train running between Union Station and Timmins, with a rail connection onward at Cochrane, where passengers can transfer to the Polar Bear Express, Temiskaming. This restores a continuous passenger rail corridor from Toronto deep into northern Ontario, covering approximately 740 kilometers. The route is designed to serve both larger regional centers and smaller communities that have been without passenger rail access since the original Northlander was discontinued in 2012. Union Station will serve as the southern terminus, placing the Northlander directly within Toronto's main transit hub. This allows seamless connections to the TTC subway system, GO Transit, Via Rail, and the Up Express, eliminating the awkward bus transfers that replaced the train after its cancellation. For Northern Ontario passengers, this is a significant improvement in both dignity and convenience, transforming the trip into a true rail journey rather than a patchwork of modes. Ontario Northland has released a proposed timetable that outlines how the service is expected to operate day to day. Under the current plan, northbound trains would depart Union Station in the early evening, typically around the dinner hour, and travel overnight through central and northern Ontario before arriving in Timmins the following morning. Southbound trains would depart Timmins shortly after midnight and arrive at Union Station later in the morning. This overnight scheduling reflects the realities of long-distance travel while allowing passengers to maximize usable daytime hours at their destination. The train is expected to stop at multiple communities along the route, including Langstaff, Gormley, Washago, Gravenhurst, Bracebridge, Huntsville, South River, North Bay, Englehart, Kirkland Lake, Matheson, and Cochrane. These stops have been carefully selected to balance travel time with regional access, ensuring that the service is not merely a Toronto to Timmins Express, but a genuine Northern Ontario mobility corridor. A major change from the original Northlander is the level of onboard comfort and amenities being planned. Ontario Northland has confirmed that the new train sets will be modern, accessible, and designed for long-distance travel. Passengers can expect comfortable airline-style seating with increased legroom, accessible washrooms, dedicated luggage storage, and full climate control, suited to Northern Ontario's extreme weather conditions. The trains will be fully wheelchair accessible, with level boarding at upgraded platforms and designated spaces on board. Onboard Wi-Fi is expected to be offered, allowing passengers to work, stream, or stay connected throughout the journey, although connectivity may vary in more remote areas. Power outlets at seats are planned, reflecting modern expectations for long-distance travel. Food and beverage service is also anticipated, either through a cafe-style counter or at seat service, providing meals and snacks suitable for overnight and daytime passengers alike. While this will not be luxury rail, it represents a clear step up from inner-city bus travel and aligns more closely with contemporary passenger rail standards. Behind the scenes, extensive infrastructure work has been critical to making the service viable. Track upgrades have been completed or are ongoing across much of the route, including the North Bay Rail Bypass, which allows passenger trains to avoid freight congestion and significantly improves reliability. Additional improvements including upgraded signals, modernized grade crossings, and curve realignments to allow for smoother and more consistent running. Station construction is also well advanced. Larger stations such as Timmins Porcupine, North Bay, Englehart, and Cochrane are receiving substantial upgrades, including full platforms, lighting, heated waiting areas, and accessibility features. Smaller communities are being equipped with modern shelters designed to withstand northern climates, with real-time information displays and improved passenger safety features. This represents a deliberate effort to treat every stop as part of a coherent system rather than an afterthought. Rolling stock remains one of the final pieces. Ontario Northland has ordered 3 new train sets designed to meet modern emissions and accessibility standards, with delivery expected in 2026. Once these trains arrive, a period of testing, staff training, and system integration will follow before revenue service can begin. This phase is critical, and it is one of the main reasons the agency has avoided committing to a precise opening date. There are still unresolved details, including final fare pricing and exact service frequency, though the expectation remains that the Northlander will operate on a consistent, scheduled basis rather than as a limited or seasonal service. Despite these remaining unknowns, the existence of a proposed schedule, confirmed equipment orders, active construction, and completed track work all point to a project that is firmly moving forwards operationally. In the broader context of Ontario's transportation network, the return of the Northlander is a quiet but meaningful shift. It restores a north-south passenger rail link that had been completely severed, reduces reliance on long highway drives, and reconnects Northern Ontario directly to Toronto's core. While it will not be high-speed service, its value lies in reliability, coverage, and accessibility rather than speed alone. It's important to be clear that while buses still operate now on routes between Toronto and Northern Ontario, the train itself has not yet begun service and is not carrying passengers as of right now. Under the current proposed schedule, the Northlander would operate an overnight-style service 4 to 7 days per week depending on the season, with the southbound train departing Timmins at approximately 12:15 a.m. and arriving at Toronto's Union Station at around 10:55 a.m., while the northbound train would depart Union Station in Toronto at about 6:30 p.m. and arrive in Timmins at approximately 5:10 a.m. the following morning, with all times and days remaining tentative and subject to final confirmation ahead of the anticipated 2026 launch. I think that this is a step forwards in our rail infrastructure and transit connectivity in Toronto and throughout the province. This route will not only allow people in Toronto and the Greater Toronto Area to have access to up north, including areas such as the Muskokas, but will also allow people with access in Southern Ontario via the GO Train network and Via Rail to be able to connect and vice versa through Union Station. As 2026 is here, the Northlander's return to Union Station feels less like a political promise and more like an overdue correction. For northern communities, it represents restored access, improved mobility, and a renewed sense of inclusion within Ontario's rail network. For Toronto, it is a reminder that Union Station is not just a regional hub, but the southern anchor of a province-wide transportation system that is slowly but deliberately being stitched back together. I hope that you liked the video. If so, please give it a like. If you're not subscribed and want to be notified of new videos that are released, please click on the Art Toronto button here. This is the video that I would recommend for you to watch next, and I'm sure that you're going to love it. Here's the playlist for all of the latest in transit news and views that you're going to find very informative and interesting. And finally, here is the latest video. Thanks for watching and happy transiting.